if you add in the New Jersey sports books and some of the other sports books that are legal so far in the US, there's a huge opportunity for this market to grow. Did you know that sports betting is set to explode? If we look at a company like Eilers Research and their latest market projection, they're projecting that this market of sports betting in the US will grow at a compound annual growth rate of 39% between 2019 and 2023. Huge growth opportunity. Did you know that consumers, from a behavioral perspective, tend not to bet if they don't feel some degree of confidence or they don't feel like they have some degree of an inside edge? So imagine if you were placing a sports bet. Imagine if you were a sports betting platform who wanted to set your own odds with your own sports book and really hone in on that price, increase profitability. Whether you're a sports betting consumer or a company operating in the sports betting space, imagine that you had at your fingertips the likelihood that each and every athlete on an active roster across NFL, NBA, MLB, or the two largest European soccer leagues, the chance that they would be injured not only in the next game or match they play, but in the next play of that game or that match. You don't have to imagine it. We at Inside Injuries have actually created that. So we have a team of real doctors behind this. We have a team of data scientists behind this. We have a cumulative experience of over 60 years in medicine. We have real team doctors who serve on the teams of the NFL, NBA, and MLB who have helped us with our data science team to build proprietary data collection tools and algorithms to project the injury risk and the performance of athletes who have been injured, or the performance of the athletes who have, let's say, a rich history of injuries. Our algorithm calculates metrics for determining this injury risk. This is just a small sample of an example NFL player who's been injured recently, and the main stats that we produced on this player prior to his injury. We also produce, for the consumer consumption, some very easy text-based analysis that they can glance at as before they place their bets, or before they even, they're a fantasy sports player, not yet involved in sports betting, dabbling, they have more confidence in placing their bet or setting their lineups. We also actually present an optimal recovery time. We have done this, built these algorithms, by accumulating a database across all of the sports I mentioned for each and every athlete on the active roster. We have a minimum of a 3-year injury history for each player that enables us to be accurate in doing what we do. Here are some examples from a recent week in the NFL. We have LaShawn McCoy, Keenan Allen, and Leonard Fournette. For those of you who follow NFL closely, you'll know that in week 4, when each of these players tried to play, they all underperformed against expectations. Here I represented that in terms of fantasy points, with LaShawn McCoy underperforming versus expectations, Keenan Allen struggling with his knee injury and underperforming, and then of course Leonard Fournette, who we all know now, if we're following the NFL, is really struggling from a hamstring injury that he's re-aggravated by trying to play it a little bit too early. We do all this with 80% accuracy. So across several of the metrics that we produce, we have an accuracy rate that many of the sports books would love to have, and many of the consumers would love to have in their confidence level as they place their bets. We're here at the conference, at the show, speaking with you today to get advice on how to grow our business and to find partners that we can work with to drive the growth and revenue that we aim for. Look forward to your comments.
Very good. What did you say, Cindy?
How do you make money? We make money through consumer side. Actually, we have a subscription, very modest subscription rate of $4.99 a month for consumers who want our basic metrics. And then on the B2B side, which is where we anticipate making more of our money, we charge a monthly fee for a data feed that we can plug directly into their platform.
So this is the data that their likelihood of getting injured or not. This is not betting on injury.
That's correct. That's correct. It's information.
Got it.
So 80% of consumer data subscription services that start up fail within 36 months because they're never able to get their customer acquisition costs below the lifetime value.
Yes.
And so if that's your major source of revenue, or even if you're doing business to business, how are you going to acquire customers? Because it's a subsegment of the overall database. It's people that actively bet. Let's take football league. You know, Sunday's a big day for me. I'd like to have this information. I've never heard of you before. If it's 80% accurate, that might change my mind about how I feel about the Pats in any week and how I bet them. That's the model, right? So how many subscribers do you have?
Sure. We have we've built our subscriber base. We've just acquired just over 10,000 new subscribers since we.
They pay 10,000?
Not all of them are paying. No, sir.
It's all free, and then you get how long before you have to pay?
If you want our start advice or any of our specific projections around what we say the injury analysis is and when that player is expected to return, that's when you would actually subscribe to our services. The basic injury risk is available for free today as we build traction. But to be clear, the majority of our revenue expectations and our modeling is not built on subscription-based revenue. I agree with your comments around the success of building and the difficulties in building a subscription-based business. Our model is really a data feed model to sports betting platform companies, fantasy platform companies, and sports books.
Doing soccer as well?
Yes, sir.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
Thanks. I think your time is up, but that was a good presentation.